I've been kidding yesterday and last week that the trade is so 2019. And what I'm doing is just sort of saying we did phase one maybe, or it looks good for phase one. And the financial markets seem to have at least put it not on the back burner, but not quite on the very front burner at this point. Is that the right sentiment to have, that the phase one deal, we can count on that pretty much being in the bank?
That one is in the bank, Joe, and there's 4 other ones in the bank in terms of countries covered. Don't forget, we signed the epic Japan deal. That's $7 billion for our farmers. We renegotiated the South Korean deal, and we got Canada and Mexico, which is twice the volume of trade as China and 5 times the exports. That one's sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk, ready to go to the floor of the Senate. And next year, 2020, we're going to try to get something going with Great Britain, Vietnam, Europe, and anybody else who wants to fairly trade with the United States of America. Is
it possible that the deal could be signed as early as maybe next week? Are rumors of Chinese officials coming to D.C. to sign it next week? Can you shed any light on that?
I cannot. I'm going to defer to Ambassador Robert E. Lighthizer, a great American who is probably on the phone as we speak with his Chinese counterparts, so we'll parsing that. We're just waiting for the Chinese translation of the 86-page agreement, and I'm trying to figure out whether it's going to be more pages or less in Chinese.
You know who, it was an old phrase, but the president, we'll see what happens. He said, we hear that a lot, don't we? So,
and how's that working out? It's working out great for America.
We'll see what happens.
Yes,
so are you happy with the details of phase one? You can confirm or deny this, that maybe you didn't like certain parts about removing from some tariffs makes America look weaker than you'd like,
Sure. I mean, look, the phase one deal, if you break it down, it's got great stuff in it. It's got essentially the same chapter we had in the May deal that Chinese walked away from on intellectual property theft. So that's a good deal. We've got a base obligation in forced technology transfers, so that's a good start. For Wall Street, jumping up and down on Wall Street, financial market access for the banks, insurance companies, and credit card companies, so that's a good deal. And if you go through the numbers on the purchases, it's not just ag. You've got $200 billion of purchases above the 2017 baseline over a 2-year period. About a fourth of that is agriculture, but you've also got energy, services, and manufacturing. So that could take a pretty good chunk out of the trade deficit with China. So that's a good deal. And you also have a nod to the currency manipulation as well. So phase one, great start. We should be able to get it signed in January, certainly. Let's see what happens.